an artificially created inequality that our society has adopted that has been placing whites above any other race in any sort of
Go.
situation.
White privilege is a subtle system of oppression that people of color face.
Because of white privilege, we have things like affirmative action and classes like hurl.
White privilege, as I perceive it, it benefits white culture people in Western countries beyond what is commonly experienced by non-white people under the same type of economical and social circumstances. That's what I perceive white privilege as.
What we can do to end white privilege is that if you are white, then to acknowledge and accept that you are a part of this system, and I guess try to understand it even if you think that you're not doing it or you don't benefit anything from
To
it.
end white privilege, people should just stop judging others just on the way they look. I mean, when you come across someone, you don't need to judge them right away. Give them a chance to express themselves, show who they are. You don't stereotype. You don't need to associate past beliefs with someone just because of their race.
I don't have a definite answer on how to end white privilege other than that all men are created equal and all society needs to work and strive to do better to make sure that all of us have the same opportunity.
Because with our society, we have so many different cultures, and it's important that we give every single culture or race equal opportunity to thrive and do what they want to do.
I believe it's still a problem because of the stigma associated with the issue and the ongoing racial issues and concerns that we encounter on a daily basis in city and local and state governments, which include our law enforcement, and the black community and local law enforcement have improved some of the issues, but it's still a huge concern that we see daily in the media.
See, what I can do is by bringing awareness to my friends, by educating them. Because when I educate one friend, then that friend will tell another friend, and then it will just repeat, the cycle will just repeat.
Just continue to live my belief that you should not judge others just because of the way they look. You really shouldn't even pay attention to the race. It's just one of the characteristics of how they look, and yeah, just don't judge other people. Give them a second to show themselves.
A personal experience, something that happened to me a few years back was I'm a bus driver for a large school district, and I was accused when I was disciplining a student in a high school student setting on my bus. I was accused of being a racist, and all I did was explain to the student that I treat all students fair, one and the same, but I was called out as a racist because the student I was disciplining was, I don't recall if the student, at this point I don't recall if the student was African American or Asian, but I was called a racist. So that kind of stuck with me, and I treat everybody the same on the
I think
bus.
it came to when I was at school. I was treated differently by the staff than how they treat other individuals, specifically of the African American race. I noticed that they'd target them more and accuse them more of different policy violations and so on.
One is listen to understand and not just to respond. Oftentimes we're really quick to just listen rather than actually just really listening to those and trying to understand where they're coming from.
Another way to end racism is to stay educated on current acts of social injustices. So it's really important that you stay informed on what's going on with equality and all those kind of issues, because that helps you teach others.
Three, acknowledge the problem and that you are part of the problem. By acknowledging the problem, whether or not you benefit from racism, is creating awareness in itself. If you benefit from it, use your voice to stand for those who don't have a loud voice. And if you don't benefit from the system, educate those who do and let them help you along the way.
Another step to ending racism is educate others on the knowledge that you have. So you have the knowledge, but it's very important that you spread it to others, because that's how the word gets out and that's how change gets spread.
The other one is to share your experiences, whether it's good or bad experiences. All experiences matter, and when you share these experiences, everyone around you gets to know a little bit more about you as well as the cause that you are fighting for.
And another, this may seem like an obvious step, but just stop racist acts when you see them, no matter how small, even if it's in a joking way, because it's not about how you intend to say something, it's about how someone perceives it. So whenever you see something racist, you need to step in and say that this is not right, and eventually that person might learn that I shouldn't be saying these things or doing these things.
Another way is to ask earnest questions or ask earnestly. Even if you feel like the question is arrogant, it's better to ask a question than to always wonder about the answer. Because if you ask honestly, the person who is responding will also answer honestly, and you know, not only do you learn more, but you also show that you're willing to learn about another person's culture or what the struggles they're going through.
And no matter how educated you are, it's almost hard to be perfect. So you always need to be constantly working on your own prejudices that you have, because even though you might not notice them, you do have prejudices, whether you like it or not. They're internalized from society, and you need to recognize those and eliminate those.
And lastly, one thing to do is to honor the feelings of people of color. To honor their feelings, ask them about their experiences, even if it's a bad experience, because it shows that you're genuinely caring for them as a human being and that you're with them in their cause to end racism. Another thing you can do is to also show interest in their culture, because their culture is what makes them unique, and it also makes you unique too. And so both of you can share your experiences and get to know more about all the different cultures and what makes all of us different.
And my last step to ending racism, as our project was about white privilege, if you're in a position of power, such as being white, you are especially obligated to the fight of ending racism, because you have the power and you're able to make the changes that the people who aren't in power don't have.